Gamers Club episode 5. Today we are going to be at part 2 of the 2-part spectacular. Today we are going to be talking about our opinions of what we want in XCOM 2, answering questions that were written up by me. Also, don't forget, we've got an episode coming soon of the Gamers Club with a surprise with him. He still doesn't know what's going on. Let's do it.
Well, what kind of weapons I like to see? I think something never seen before, something brand new, completely different, something a bit out there, or even something zany, you know, like a skunk gun, you know, that you can fire at people, or a skunk launcher, you know, exploding smelly bombs. I don't know, something different. We've had laser guns, we've had plasma guns, so something different to them. I don't know, just something completely different, really.
In XCOM 2, I would like a dream gun that's like in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. If you're playing as the Tempest, there's the Tempest gun, which is like the electric gun where you have to hold down the trigger as it builds up. Once it shoots, that person is like paralyzed. But in XCOM 2, they could be paralyzed for like 3 hours and then they're unparalyzed. I think that'd be a brilliant weapon because that could have right go with the aliens, but the aliens could have one as well where they could get us and it'd be like I think it'd be epic, and you have to. It would just look really awesome, I think. Yeah.
Well, I quite liked the robotic squid-like creatures, the ones we call facehuggers. I like the chrysalids, although they can be quite annoying at times. The berserkers and the mutons.
For me, there weren't any aliens that I were extremely fond of in XCOM, but I really did like the Thin Men. I thought Thin Men were a great idea. I do think that they could be workshopped more, where they could actually be disguised as civilians, and then they pull out a gun and shoot you. I think that'd be pretty cool because they're supposed to be disguised as humans. I just think that'd be a great idea, and maybe even the floaters as well. I like the fact they could fly. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't overly keen on the floaters, to be honest. I know they can fly, but I just found them annoying. The Thin Men weren't one of my favourites, and when they die, they release a green kind of plasma cloud, and if you walk into it, you might get poisoned, so I didn't like that. And of course, the little aliens as well, I've forgotten the name, what are they called? Sectoids. Yeah, sectoids. I don't like the sectoids. So yeah, those are, and the mechtoid thing was sectoid and a mech. I wouldn't bring that back either.
The last thing I want to come back in XCOM 2 is the chrysalids. I know they're back, and when I am done with that game, I'm going to burn it!
Well, really, I'd like to see XCOM Terror from the Deep. It's set underwater, so it's all underwater themed. You've got your harpoon guns, your dart guns, your submarines, your spaceships, all that sort of thing. And the other element I'd like to see is where the aliens can actually attack your base. So kind of role reversal there. So during the game, for XCOM, you can actually defend the aliens' base and attack their base. But in the old game, they could also attack your base, and if you hadn't put up enough defences, you could break into your base, and then you have the mission where you had to destroy aliens, whichever men you had in the base. So I'd also add that.
For me, I actually never played the classics. Obviously, I wasn't born, and I could have rebought them, but I didn't want to. I got into the newer game. I didn't want to lose the new game because I thought the old ones were better. But after watching some YouTube videos and really admiring the classics, something I think should really come back is that the way the laboratory and the workshop were done. It was like in the new XCOM, obviously you can see it, which is nice, and there's the images and things, but things are a bit more complicated in the new one, whereas in the older one, looking at keywords and things, it was a lot easier. I was watching YouTube videos, and you could definitely tell where things were. Facilities had easier names. Items had easier names. It was easier to know what things were.
Well, perhaps you could set it in space, colonise planets, or maybe even have a time travel element where you could, travel to different times or planets and take over whatever you find, or maybe parallel universes.
Woo!
You can have different levels, maybe when you complete a level on Earth, maybe there's a parallel universe, which would be a more difficult level, and then, you can keep moving up like that, or something like that.
For my dream XCOM game, there's something I've really wanted, which is where we can find out where the aliens are exactly from, what planet they're from. Because the aliens have done enough attacks on us. The classic games, the modern games, it's finally time for us to fight back. They tried to invade our planet. Let's try and invade theirs. If they can colonize on their planet and colonize on ours, why can't we colonize on theirs? I think the game should be an invasion, a full-fledged invasion on their planet to get a taste of their own medicine. We can find out what planet they're from and attack it. Maybe that could lead on to another XCOM game, which could be where we're set on 2 planets and the aliens have to take both of them. How epic would that be?
Yes, I'd love the game to be on console for the simple fact that I've not got a PC, so then I'd be able to play it.
No! I don't want it on console. If it did have to go on console though, the only console I'd allow it on would be the Xbox One. Or the 3DS. I wouldn't allow it on anything else, especially PlayStation. Xbox 360, I wouldn't mind, I guess, but because of it being an old gen, we want to move past that. We want to go to Xbox One and then gens beyond. PC's great, better graphics, better game controls. It's just better, and that's why I feel it's great. It's on PC.
Yes, it'd be nice if there was a lot of surprises along the way, things that you weren't expecting, that could boost you or cause you extra problems. And of course, it'd be nice to have a surprise at the end, which might lead on to a sequel.
I definitely think cliffhangers and twists and turns along the way would be a brilliant idea and would probably get a lot of people interested in the game. Because then it's not just a story where you know what's going to happen, you can predict it. It's going to be something happens that could screw you up or boost you, like my dad said, and it would be really epic. Like, for instance, in Enemy Within, we already knew about genetics happening and mechs and meld, and then we also knew that the Exalt company was going to be happening. If we didn't know those, there would have been brilliant twists that would have really got me interested more into the game.
Well, put it plainly, no, I'm not pleased at all. I thoroughly enjoyed XCOM Terror from the Deep, and I would really like to see XCOM Terror from the Deep remade by Firaxis. I think it'd be a brilliant game, thoroughly enjoyable, and that's it really.
I think I am glad. Terror from the Deep, no, I didn't play it, I've seen videos and it looks alright. I think it's in the past. I think we need to move on. New generation, new games. We can't just keep on going back to the past and remaking those games. It's just wrong. I think Terror from the Deep could be remade, but I think it would have to be a spin-off game because I don't want it to come into the actual remade series because I want new games to come. I want new surprises, new synopsises, new monsters, new weapons, new everything, and not just know what's going to come because it's a remake of a classic game.
Yes, I do think they should give it a name. It's a bit plain and, just XCOM 2. I think the game does deserve a proper name.
I agree with my dad, it does deserve a name. Completely does. But I'm going to go a bit deeper. I feel as though it's not part of the XCOM series of XCOM Enemy Unknown. It's called Enemy Unknown and then it's like XCOM Enemy Unknown. XCOM 2. It's like, is this part of the XCOM Enemy Unknown series? It doesn't even have a name. It's the only XCOM game that doesn't have a name, even including the classics. I feel as though it does deserve a name, yeah.
Well, as it's all about being a resistance fighting force, I would call it XCOM 2 Resistance is Useless.
I feel as though XCOM 2 does deserve a name, like I said, and I feel as though there is only one name we can give it. We are in a mobile base called the Avenger. Earth was ours, and it was taken by the aliens, and they have it, and they are coming up with some plan, and there is only one name we can give it. XCOM 2. A Vengeance of Earth.